will help you find area and distance around irregular shapes or composite shapes. So the directions say find the area and distance around each shape. If appropriate, keep your answer in terms of pi and then round to the nearest hundred. So looking at our first shape, this shape can be divided into a rectangle on the bottom and a semicircle on the top. So let's talk about finding the area first. To find the area, I can find the area of the bottom rectangle by doing 2 times 6. And then I would add to that half the area of the circle, which would be 1/2 times pi times the radius of the circle squared. The diameter of the circle is 6, so the radius would be half of 6, which would be 3. So now I simplify it. I get 12 plus 3 squared is 9, and half of 9 is 4.5 pi. And that whole thing is labeled centimeters squared. So that's my exact answer in terms of pi. Now using the pi button and multiplying and adding. So on my calculator, I start with doing 4 5/10 times pi. And then to that amount, I'm adding 12. So rounding to the nearest hundredth is approximately 26 1400 centimeters squared. To find the distance around it, the sides across from each other in a rectangle are the same length. So the left edge is 2 centimeters, so is that part of the right edge. So to find the distance, I'm going to add up the straight edges, 2, 6, and 2, and then half the circumference of the circle. So it'll be 1/2 times pi times diameter, and the diameter is 6. So now again, I'm going to use my calculator to do the adding and multiplying work for me. Half of 6 would be 3 pi, and that's my exact answer labeled with centimeters. Using now the pi button on my calculator, I'm first typing in 3 pi, and then to that amount I'm adding 10. So with rounding to the nearest hundred, it's 19 4200 centimeters. Looking at our next example, similar kind of shape. The bottom part is a rectangle, and now the top part is a fourth of a circle. So let's start with area first. So the area I would do the rectangle part, which is 6 times 5, plus 1/4 the area of the circle, which is pi times the radius squared, and the radius of this circle would be 6. So now I'm going to multiply. So 6 times 5 becomes 30, plus 6 squared is 36, times 1/4 would be 9 pi, and that entire thing is labeled centimeters squared. Now using my pi button on the calculator, and starting with doing 9 times pi, and to that amount I'm adding 30. So rounding to the hundredths is 58 2700 centimeters squared. To find the distance around it, again, I'm going to start by adding the straight edges together. So 5, 6, and 5, plus this top edge of the curved part is the same as the radius, which is 6 centimeters. So I have to add another 6. And now the curved part, this time is a fourth of the circumference of the circle, which would be 2 times pi times the radius 6. So now I'm going to use my calculator to do the adding. 5, 6, 5, and 6 would be 22, plus 2 times 6 is 12. A fourth of 12 would be 3 pi, and that entire thing is labeled centimeters. Now again, I'm going to use the pi button. I'm going to multiply 3 times pi first, and then to that amount I'm adding 22, and rounding that to the nearest hundredth, I get 31 4200 centimeters. Looking at our third example, let's start with the area first. The left part of this figure is a square. So to find the area, I would do 11 and 1/10 squared plus the right side of this shape is a rectangle. So I would do 1/2 the base times the height. The base of the rectangle is 11 and 1/10, and the height of the rectangle is 11 and 4/10. So again, using my calculator to do that multiplying work for me, 11 and 1/10 squared is 123 and 21/100 plus 11 and 1/10 times 11 and 4/10 times 1/2 is 63 and 27/100. And now doing the adding, my total area is 186 and 4,800 centimeters squared. For the distance around it, I add up the outside edges. The bottom edge of the square part is also 11 and 1/10 centimeters. So to find my distance, there are 3 sides that are 11 and 1/10. So as a shortcut, I do 3 times 11 and 1/10. And there are 2 sides that are 12 and 1/10. Using my calculator to do the multiplying and the adding work for me. My final answer ends up being 57 and 5/10, and that would be labeled centimeters. Hope this video helps. Let me know if you have any questions.